All right, so let's see how we would solve this one. This one actually is not terribly complicated. So we should be able to do this one in just a few seconds because they both have the same denominator. So we can just combine them all in under one. And then I'm going to write this as 1 over 1 because I'm going to use, and I'm just going with the quickest method, which is I can cross multiply. And so I've got 2x is equal to, let's see. Yeah, so this is a -6, right? Is equal to -6. Let me just double check my work. And then divide by 2. So x is -3. And just because that went so quickly, I think I should check my work. So if you could check your work, that would be great. So this is what -7, I guess 7 over 6 plus 1 over -6. And I guess I can put this minus sign up here. And yeah, it does work out. Okay, so that's how you do that one. All right, so this one is really much the same way. And in some ways easier because I can simply go straight through the cross multiplying without the extra work. So that's done, except that I can really quickly check it. So obviously this is 2 12ths and reduces to 1/6. So that's it on that one. Okay, let's go ahead and try this one. So what we need to do on this one is factor this thing. So this is going to be x minus 4, x minus 1. And so I'm going to, and I'm going to do it this way. Let me try it again. I'm going to just put a big bracket like that. So I don't have to write it all over again. So x minus 4 and x minus 1. And that's going to go over here. That's going to go over here. And that's going to go over here. So that's a 4. That's a 4 there. It's not a very nice 4, but over x minus 1 minus 5 over x minus 4, and then x minus 4, x minus 1. and then all this, right? So it's just going to go down here, x minus 4, x minus 1. And then let me use let's cancel with orange. That cancels, this whole thing cancels. And so I'm left with 4 times x minus 4 minus 5 times x minus 1 is equal to 2. Distribute, so that's 4x minus 16 minus 5x plus 5 is 2. 4x minus 5x is minus 1x. And then minus 16. Make a different little thing there so you could see. And then combine it with this. So that's going to be minus 11. And I just stopped to check. So plus 11 plus 11. So I'll continue over here. Minus 1x is equal to 13 divided by negative 1. Now, I really should check my work, but I'm pretty confident that I didn't make any mistakes. So we're just going to leave it at that, but we should really check our work. All right, here's another one that requires us to complete the square. So I'm going to copy the problem. And I like to leave some space for whatever we're going to add and subtract, which is how I approach it. But we've got to take that negative 30 and divide by 2 and then square it, right? So this is going to be negative 15 squared, which is 225. Just double check my math. Yeah, 225, just double checking that real quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 225 and take away 225. But then I'm going to work off of just that piece and say, okay, well, why don't I factor that? And it should really factor very nicely because of the way we did the work. So it should be minus 15 and minus 15, and you can check that on your own. But basically that's W, whoops, not what I wanted to. Minus 15 squared. I'm going to move this over to the right. I'm going to add it, right? So this is what, 240? No, 425. So we said that that's going to be 245. Okay. So what can I do with 245? Is that correct now? It's a 245?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so I know it's divisible by 5. I don't know how many times 245 is divisible by 5. There might not be anything we can do, but it's something you should always check. Oh yeah, actually it is going to be nice. So it's going to be 49 times 5, which is the square root of 49 times the square root of 5, which is 7 root 5. So this is going to be W. I might as well move the 15 over. Plus or minus 7 root 5. And if they want you to list the two answers, you're going to do 15 plus 7 root 5, comma, and 15 minus 7 root 5. That's how you would do that. Okay, so here's another one. Let's see if we can do this one. So what I would do on this one is I'm going to use this part and move it over. And when I say move it over, I'm really saying I'm subtracting it. And you really could have moved either one of them. You know, we could have worked with this other one, but let's see how things work out. So I think you have a choice, and I'm not sure that it simplifies or complicates your work if you choose a different one. So I think it still more or less goes the same way. And I'm already sensing that we better check our work in the end, because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take out a -1. But what's going to happen, I mean, I didn't have to take it out, but the same thing happens. If I square this, squaring this negative is going to very likely throw things off. So in the end, I think we may have an extraneous solution. So obviously this, if you square it, it's a 1. So I'm not even going to write it because it's a positive 1. So it's 2 plus the square root of x plus 2 squared. And I have to work that out. So let's see, where do I do that for you? I guess we'll just, yeah, I think for you, it might be worth that I do that. And then I'm going to do, whoops, first, outer, inner, and last. And what I end up with is first, outer is 2 root x plus 2. Inner is 2 root x plus 2. And last is x plus 2. So not straightforward for most students. All right, so I've got to do some simplifying. And if you'll allow me for space, I'm going to get rid of this. Besides, you know the result. So I guess what I'm saying is you need to know that, oops, you need to know that this yields this. All right, so now let me just copy the right side. So negative 3x plus 4. I'm sorry, copy the left. Did I say left or right? I'm copying the left. On the right, I have 6 plus x plus 4 root x plus 2. You say 4, yeah, because 2 plus 2 is 4. Take out the, subtract the 6 and subtract the x. So that's minus 4x minus 2 is equal to, let me divide by 4, just because that's gonna simplify my work just a little bit. And I'm being told I'm missing a negative symbol, so let me double check. Let me double check my work. And I'm not seeing where I'm missing, so okay, so there was something that was brought to my attention, and it's actually way at the beginning. This minus sign, I didn't bring it over. So that should be kind of everywhere. And it is going to cause, yeah, so there may be, so it's going to be in here, which is over here. And I believe here as well, which would have been over here. So I should have added it instead, which makes this a minus 2. Which makes this a minus 1.
So instead of be divided by 4, you need to be divided by 2?
Well, what I did, so this, the division by, okay, before I forget, let me make sure I put a minus in there. The dividing by 4 is because of this. Because I want these to cancel. And I'm going to be left with this. So dividing by 4 is still valid, but let me see. 2/4 reduces to 1/2. So this is 1/2. And the same over here. 2/4 gives me 1/2. So in other words, this is negative x minus 1/2. And then now I'm going to square both sides. So yeah, this is probably the more challenging of the problems. Let me see. So on the right side, I'm left with negative x plus 2. And on the left side, I've got x squared. Now I'm going to do some FOIL in my head. I'm going to multiply it out in my head, which some of you may not like because you can't see all the work. First, and then outer is going to be plus x. Inner is going to be another x. And then plus 1/4. Multiply everything by 4. And I'm left with x squared plus 2x plus 1 is equal to negative 4x plus 8. Which is x squared plus 6x minus 7. That would be x plus 7, x minus 1. So and I better connect my computer before I lose power here. So I have 2 solutions and I wonder maybe one of them will work. All right, so I'm going to check these answers here in just a minute. But I want to answer a question that I got. This 4 and this 4 canceled, which is why I ended up with this. Okay, now I know my process is correct because I checked it. But unfortunately, I think that the solutions are going to be what we call extraneous. And I was already expecting that. I don't know if either of them are going to work. And I've got a chat question and I'll answer that in just a second. Or I'll do my best to answer it. So what is that? 9. And then over here we get 20, 24. 24. Oh, okay, no, I believe that should be an equal sign. Yeah, I lost some information when that was an equal sign. So this is 3 plus root 24. That should be an equal sign. I mean, there's no way it could be equal to a -2. And now I'm going to plug in a 1 and we're going to get the same kind of thing happening, probably. Although not necessarily. So it's a square root of 1 plus square root of 1. That's closer, but it doesn't work at all. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and then take questions from students that are present. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do one last one. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this term and factor it out. Of both of them. But also we want to know whether there's a number that goes into both of these. 448. We should check if it's divisible by 7. I could just get a calculator and divide, but I'm gonna try it this way. I know it's divisible by 8 because it ends in, because this is divisible by 8. So how many times does, I believe it's divisible by 8. 8 times 5 is 40. So 6. So 7 times 6, no. 9 times 7. 8 times 7 is 56. All right, so somebody double check me there. All right, so this is x to the 6/7 minus 64. And I am there. 8 times 7 is 56. Yeah, we should be good there. So if I set 7x to the 6/7 equal to 0, and divide by 7, so x to the 6/7 is 0. Raise this to the 7/6. So x to the 1 is 0. On the other side, we have x to the 6/7 is equal to 64, because I move this over, and I raise this to the 7/6. So this is going to be x to the 1 is I need to do the 6th root of 64 to the 7th power, which is 2 to the 7th power, which is 128. I know 2 to the 5th power is 32, times 2 is 64, times 2 is 128. So yeah. So x is 128. All right, so hopefully this video gives you something to work with and to review so that you will do well on the exam.